Hey, what's up everybody? CJC presents WandA, Workouts in Anime, with a workout program review, that being my own push-pull legs that I did 2 years ago. You're gonna see the card of the trailer that I did, so I thought it'd be fun to put it out now and review it. But I also made changes because after the first week, I personally didn't like it, and I just made the appropriate changes. So what we're gonna do, we're going to first discuss the original, break down why I made certain changes in the revised program. Now, mind you, I still am, obviously, but at the time, of course, I'm very inspired by these different fitness YouTubers. Of course, Athlete X, Scott Herman's really good, and partially buff dudes. I think those three are like my favorites, and I think the best in terms of fitness content on YouTube. So definitely had a ton of inspiration, like rocking tricep pushdown, not V shreds, but Athlete X. Bicep curl trifecta, get that from Scott Herman. Of course, corrective exercises. I never thought to do those until I've seen Athlete X videos. So yeah, and I'm a big advocate of those now, understanding the importance of doing those corrective exercises. So yeah, and also, not to completely bore you, because this is going to be a very long video, you can either listen to this, and if you go into the description box below, I have a public PDF of the original versus the revised, and I have example calendars and a little bit of notes at the end, so you can just go and look at that and you can listen along. Or if you want to watch along, then I'm going to be playing some gameplay of One Piece Pirate Warriors 4, just a bunch of random characters that I might like that will probably take up the video. And then towards the end, what I'm going to do is demonstrate some of the exercises that are probably not as well known, I guess, per se, and you don't have to look through heaven and earth on YouTube to find these certain exercises. And it's also like less work for me because I would have to like look them up and link them, but I will obviously give credit to where credit's due on some of those exercises. So without further ado, let's get right into the breakdown. We're going to start off with the original. So the original was as follows. It was a push legs pull, 3 days of heavier movements, heavier weight, and then the other 3 days were strictly, more in volume per se. So starting off with push A, heavy, which will be done on your first day, Monday, whatever the case might be. Barbell bench, 5 sets of 5, 60 to 90 seconds. Give that range. You could do 2 minutes, I guess, but I just think you'd be wasting time. Next up, we have incline dumbbell bench, 4 sets, 8 to 10 reps. 60 to 75 seconds rest. We got a weighted dip next with another 4 sets, 8 to 10 reps, 60 to 75 seconds. Then a single arm chest movement, preferably one that gets you into adduction, gets your arm across your chest. Preferably, if not, you can do like single arm push-ups too, if you can. That's pretty cool. We have 3 sets. I don't know why I put failure here. Oh, I'm sorry. 3 sets of 12, my bad. I was looking ahead. And then rest. If you're working one limb at a time, I personally don't think you need rest because one side's already resting while the other one's being worked. But if you do need rest, probably rest for like 30 seconds to be honest between each set. Then following that, overhead press, 5 sets of 5, 60 to 70 seconds. Single arm cheat lateral raise, supersetted with a push press. This was inspired from one of Athlete X's shoulder workout videos that I've seen. I really liked. I still like doing that combination to this day, especially a cheat lateral. Is usually like, oh, you should go light with lateral raises, but you can go heavy with them. So I really like that. And then just supersetting with a push press. It's a very good combination. So 3 sets to failure each arm, and again, rest isn't needed. You can rest if you want to, but it's not that needed. And the purpose of it is to go heavy. So go heavy with the lateral raise, and you do the same weight with the push press to failure. So then we got 21s. You can either use on a cable machine or bands. It's just 3 sets. And again, rest isn't needed because you are working one side for a very long time. So 7 sets rear raise, 7 reps lateral raise, and 7 reps of a front raise. So that'll usually take like a minute. So let's say you work your right side already, go to your left. Your left's gonna take a minute. Your right's gonna be resting the whole time, so might as well just go right back to your right and not rest anymore. But again, just my personal opinion. And then finishing it up, we have a rocking tricep pushdown and supersetting it with a tricep dip. You can either do it on a bench or a dip station, and it's 3 sets of 15 to 20 reps each exercise with 60-second rest. Again, pushdown inspired by Athlete X. And then of course a corrective, you can either do a face pull or external rotation, 2 or 3 sets, 12 to 15 reps, and then 60-second rest. So now, next up we have legs, first leg day, barbell squat, 5 sets of 5, again 60 to 90 seconds. A hack squat, 4 sets of 10 reps, 60 to 75 seconds. So with the hack squat, you're either going to have some sort of machine at the gym, or if you're at home, you can do a barbell hack squat, which is essentially a reverse deadlift. I'm actually going to link that into the description box below. I think the buff dudes do a great job of explaining that, a better job than I ever could, so check that out if you don't know how to do it. Next up, we have a barbell glute bridge, 4 sets, 8 to 10 reps, 60 to 75 seconds rest. And then we have a Bulgarian split squat. We're actually going to superset it with a single leg glute bridge, just to get best of both worlds really. And then 3 sets, 10 to 12, you don't need to rest. And then following that, we have a plyometric Bulgarian split squat. And then you'll see that at the end as well. It's just 3 sets to failure because it's just body weight anyway. And then again, rest isn't needed. And then we have a cable adduction, and superset it with a cable abduction. So you're attaching the cable to your leg, and you're adducting with one leg and then the other. So 3 sets, 12 reps each exercise, and then again, rest isn't needed. Then standing calf raise, 5 sets, 20 reps, 1 minute rest. Next up, we have pull A, heavy. So we're actually going to warm up. So this beginning portion is actually inspired from one of Athlete X's back workout videos, warming up with a straight arm pull down. I actually really like doing before deadlift, just to make sure that my arms are locked and they aren't too far ahead. It's just more so of making sure my lats are truly engaged during a deadlift. I mean, it is a leg exercise, to be honest. It's a hip hinge, but you can do it on back day, especially if you're engaging the lats. So I think doing a straight arm pull down beforehand is just a great way to warm up. So 2 sets of 15, 60-second rest. Then we're doing a deadlift. We're supersetting it with either a chin up or a neutral grip pull up. I like neutral grip pull ups, to be honest, so that's what I would probably go to. And it's 5 sets of 5 each. These are weighted with the pull ups, and 69-second rest. Following that, we have a dead row or an overhand row, 4 sets, 8 to 10 reps, 69-second rest. Following that, a single arm row, whether it's a cable machine, or you're using a dumbbell, or using one of the setups that they have there where your chest is supported basically, and you have to row using the machine there. 3 sets of 15 each arm, and then again, rest isn't needed because we're working one arm at a time. Following that, we have a wide grip lat pull down, 4 sets of 10, 60 to 75 seconds rest. Plate raises, these are for your mid to lower traps to make sure they're engaged. 3 sets 15, 60-second rest. Seated shrugs, working the upper traps now with 3 sets of 15, and we're going to do a 3-second hold at each rep, at the top of each rep. Now it's 60-second rest. Barbell curl, pretty standard. 3 sets, 8 to 10. You want to go a little heavier here. 60-second rest. Hammer curl, it's just 3 sets of 10 with a minute rest. Of course, corrective, just a face pull, 3 sets, 12 to 15 reps. So now we go to push B, which is dumbbell bench press, 5 sets of 12, 60-second rest. Dumbbell pullover, 4 sets, 10 to 12. And with a pullover, it's not just a back workout or a back exercise, depending on how you position your arms. And if you're squeezing the dumbbell, you can actually feel really good engagement in your upper pecs. So that's 60-second rest. Following that, we have the decline cable flies with pause reps. So we're pausing at the bottom position. 4 sets of 15, 60-second rest. And then we have a push-up with adduction, 3 sets to failure, 60-second rest. And again, this is also inspired from Athlean X. Following that, we have dumbbell shoulder press, 4 sets of 12, 60-second rest. Lateral raise with half reps. I love doing these. Really, they'll burn the hell out of your shoulders. 3 sets to failure, 60-second rest. Hip huggers, Athlean X, that's where I first saw it. 3 sets of 15, 60-second rest. And then following that, we have a close grip bench, either with dumbbells or barbell. 3 sets of 10, 60-second rest. Following that, we have a tricep extension with dumbbells lying on the bench. Then we're going to superset that with diamond push-ups and 3 sets of failure each exercise, 60-second rest. And of course, corrective, whatever you want to do. Face pull, external rotation, etc. 3 sets, 12 to 15 reps, 60 seconds. So now we're moving on to legs. Legs B for volume. We're doing a barbell front squat. It's 5 sets of 10 to 15, depending on what you have access to. 60-second rest. Manual hamstring curl, 4 sets to failure, 60-second rest. Goblet squat. We're going to superset that with either a kettlebell, dumbbell, or a plate swing. Again, depending on what you have access to. 3 sets of 20 each, 60-second rest. And then, of course, we have a barbell dumbbell reverse lunge with 3 sets of 12. You're going to rest for 60 seconds here. And then we have a Bulgarian hip hinge, which it's very similar to the setup of a Bulgarian split squat. Or instead of squatting down, you're going to lean forward a little more, and that was also inspired from an Athlean X video that I've seen. So it's 3 sets of 10. Rest isn't needed because you're working one side at a time, of course. Then we have a lateral squat, moving back and forth, squatting laterally. 3 sets of 12, 60 seconds. Then we have a hip band ladder. I like doing these. They're killer for your glutes. So rest won't be needed because you're only going to do one set of these anyway. If you want to do another one, go right ahead. Kudos to you. And then following that, calf raises seated, 5 sets of 20, 60-second rest. And then the last workout for the original program, pull B for volume. We have rack pulls, supersetted with a wide grip pull up. So 4 sets of 12 for the rack pull, and then 4 sets to failure, with the last set being a drop set, 5 seconds rest. So with your failure, you'll have that rep range in your mind, because because these are weighted pull-ups, for you might be able to do 6 to 8, whatever you can do. Fail to that, because everyone's going to be different. And if you can't do weighted, then just do regular pull-ups, or if you need the band for assistance, just do that till failure. That's fine too. And then the last one, just dropping the weight basically and trying to match the amount of reps that you did before. So if you failed at 8, drop the weight and then do pull-ups again and try to get to 8 reps once more. So following that, we have a supinated grip barbell row, 4 sets of 15, 60-second rest. Following that, it's a single arm row of choice, again, cable, dumbbell, etc. 3 sets of 15 each arm, no rest will be needed. Again, if you want to, 30-second rest is fine. Following that, we have a V grip row with pause reps, so pausing at peak contraction. 3 sets of 12, 60-second rest. And then this one I also got from Athlean X, Y to W extensions, which is really good for your traps and your rear delts. So 3 sets of 20, 60-second rest. Then we have a shrug ladder, which is just amazing. It's very similar to the hip band ladder. And again, some of those you'll see at the end of the video when I explain some of them, or a demo some of them, because I think for the most part most of these are pretty explainable, and some you can like really find on YouTube. So shrug ladder, 1 set to 10, only 1 set, so no rest is needed. Following that, we have incline curls, 3 sets to failure, 60-second rest. And following that, this is what I got from Scott Herman. It's the barbell trifecta, where you're utilizing the different grips on the barbell, close grip, neutral, wide, and then you're doing 2 sets of 8 reps each grip variation, 60-second rest. And then of course your corrective will be your face pull, 3 sets, 12 to 15, 60 seconds. So that was the original plan. I did that for 1 week, and I was just like, I personally think it's too much, especially for a push-pull legs. You're already working these muscle groups multiple times. I don't think you need to dedicate so much to the exercises, or the muscle groups rather, because you're already working them twice. It'd be one thing if you were just working them, once a week, right? If you're just doing, I don't know, chest tries, legs, back bis, shoulders, right? It'd be one thing if you're doing it that way, but in this case we're not. So I just think it was a little too much. So I definitely had to cut it down a little bit, and I preferred doing it this way. And personally, I was able to see max growth in terms of my numbers. Like my big 3, deadlift, squat, bench, skyrocketed. Like 15-20 pounds in 1 month, skyrocketed, and I was pretty happy with that. And you should honestly try to, with your programming, whatever it is that you're doing, especially if it is the same thing every week for 1 month or whatever, you should try to increase the weight, whether it's just measly 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 2 pounds, whatever the case might be. You should always try to get better and try to get stronger in those lifts. And maybe, a part of it was that I did underestimate my own strength, just due to the fact that, working out at home for so long, I wasn't able to really train strength, but more so volume. So maybe that did play a part into it, but I'm definitely proud with the numbers that I'm putting up right now. That's just the reality of it. So let's get into the revised version of this push-pull legs, starting with push A revised. We're doing a barbell or a dumbbell bench. Personally, I think barbell bench is so fucking overrated, it's not even funny. So this is why I'm giving you the option to either do a dumbbell bench, because the first program, I believe my thought process was you can only really gain strength by just doing a barbell bench, which in part is kind of true, but you can still also train strength and get better gains with dumbbells. Because personally, with a barbell, I felt as if one side might compensate over the other, and I'm already kind of unilaterally unbalanced partially, so that's my preference with the barbell bench. Just do dumbbells, and you're doing that for 4 sets of 5, and I cut the rest a little more, so 60 to 75 seconds. Personally, I only rested 1 minute. I felt as if that was enough, and I was able to see the max amount of gains I was able to make. But for some people, they might need more recovery time, so that's why I'm giving you that, to 75 seconds. But me personally, I only rested 1 minute. Following that, still the same thing, incline dumbbell bench, 4 sets, 8 to 10, similar rest, 60 to 75. But this time, what we're doing is an overhead press. So I felt as if that first week doing the original plan, by the time I got to work shoulders, because the way it was chest, shoulders, tries, which yes is a typical what you would typically do in a push day, but your heavier lifts should be taken care of at the beginning. You shouldn't be heavier, lighter, heavy again. is just get your heavy lifts out the way. This is why the overhead press is here. This time we're doing 3 to 4 sets of 5 reps, 60 to 70 seconds. I just think that's a better rep range or set range for your shoulders because they're already getting worked on anyway. And sometimes with the 4, like I'll feel really good. If not, I'll just do 3 sets of 5. There's no problem with that at all. Following that, we have a weighted dip. Again, 3 to 4 sets, 10 reps, 60-second rest. And then any single arm chest movement, of course, 3 sets of 12. Rest is needed, obviously. And then following that, we still have the single arm cheat lateral raise supersetted with the push press. 3 sets. Failure each exercise. Again, rest is needed. With 21, that's still the same. 2 to 3 sets this time instead of just the 3. If you want to do 2, do 2. You don't have to force yourself to do another one. And then, of course, same thing with the tricep portion. It's going to be the same. And then, of course, any corrective choice, 2 to 3 sets, 12 to 15. Cutting down the number definitely helped me recover a lot more than I was doing that first week. And even looking back on when I did this 2 years ago, I was able to recover more. Programming it this way, revising it this way. Let's go into legs A. We're starting off with a barbell squat again. This time 4 sets of 5, not 5. 60 to 75 seconds. Again, I only rested 1 minute and I was able to increase my numbers by a lot. Following that, we have a glute bridge, 4 sets, 10 to 12 reps. Again, similar rest, but this time something different. So either a leg press or a hack squat, whether you are using machine or barbell. Leg press, I definitely recommend. I do have a video where you can do it at home alternatively, but you will need a ton of bands, especially if you are like intermediate or advanced lifter. You're gonna need a lot of bands in order to compensate for that weight, because like I can leg press a ton of weight for for in this case 3 to 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps, right? I'm not gonna be able to do so with bands, right? Like a 100-pound band, that's gonna be too easy for me. But if you are a beginner, then utilizing that home variation might just be for you. So I would definitely recommend that, or just utilize a fuck ton of bands. But if you're at home, you could just do a barbell hack squat, and that'll work just as fine. So again, 3 to 4 sets, either of leg press, hack squat, 10 to 12 reps, 1 minute rest. Following that, we have the walking lunge. You're gonna get the most out of your glutes, quads. 3 sets of 12, 60-second rest. Then I'm utilizing the adductor machine and abductor machine. 3 sets of 12 each. They're not supersetted, obviously. 60-second rest. And then with calf raises, it's 3 to 4 sets, 20 reps, 60-second rest. Now it was just up the weight. So now we have pull A. It's still similar to how the original one was, starting off with a straight arm pull down for warm up. But for the deadlift, supersetted with the chin up or neutral grip, instead of 5 sets, it's just 3 to 4, 5 reps each. But it'll depend, because if you do a chin up, for example, it's going to affect another exercise that we're going to get to in a second. But following that, the deadlift and the superset, we're going to do a dead row or a pronated barbell row for 4 sets, 8 to 10 reps, 60 to 75 second rest. Following that, single arm row, again, cable, machine, dumbbell, whatever. We're doing 3 sets of 10. We're going to go a little heavier if you can. You can also do 8 to 10, but preferably try to get to 10. And then, of course, rest won't be that needed. So as I was saying earlier, like a minute or so ago, the seated supinated, we're going to do a seated supinated or a neutral grip row, either with cables or bands. So if you start off with the chin up with the deadlift, then when you get to the seated row, you're going to do a neutral grip. Personally, you are going to get the most out of your back workouts utilizing different grips, and we're doing so here. We're using a pronated grip. You're going to use a supinated grip. You're going to use a neutral grip. So utilizing these different grips, you'll just get the most out of your back workout. So following the seated row, Seated shrug, that stays the same. 3 sets, 3-second hold, a peak contraction, 60-second rest. Then we do an incline curl, just one bicep movement, 3 sets, 10 to 12 reps, 60 seconds. Then our corrective, we're actually going to do a face pull with a press. Utilizing the pressing motion in the face pull, you're actually going to be able to do, you're actually going to be able to get more out of your mid to low traps utilizing the pressing motion. So 3 sets, 12 to 15 reps with a 60-second rest. Following that, we have push B. This is, again, either a barbell or dumbbell bench. I prefer dumbbells, so I use dumbbells. 4 sets, 10 to 12 reps, 60 seconds. Following that, you can either do a dumbbell pullover or an incline bench again for another 4 sets, 10 to 12 reps. I was noticing that towards the later weeks, with the pullover, I was only feeling it on one side of my chest more, and I had to bust out like a few more reps when I did the single arm movement. So I wasn't really too big of a fan, so I just did incline bench instead. So following that, we have a seated chest press into adduction with, utilizing the cable machine, and we're going to superset that with push-up adductions. You can also do like a decline fly, trying to get your arms across your chest, and then superset with a push-up adduction. That works just as fine. So 3 sets of 12 of either the seated chest press into adduction, or the cable flies, whatever the case might be, and then superset with the push-up adduction to failure, 60-second rest. And a shoulder press. Following that is the shoulder press. Whatever your favorite variation is, whether it's the Arnold, the standard, wide arc, whatever the case might be. 3 to 4 sets, 12 reps, 60 seconds. I personally just did 3. Sometimes I'll do 4, but preferably I just did 3, and I definitely got the most out of my shoulders doing that way. Then we're going to follow that up with a superset of lateral raises into the hip huggers. So lateral raise, 3 sets, 12 to 15 reps, and then hip huggers, 3 sets of 12 with a 60-second rest. And then finishing up push B is just dumbbell extensions, supersetted with diamond push-up, 3 sets to failure, 60-second rest. And then of course a corrective, a face pull, getting more of your rear delts engaged, 3 sets, 12 to 15 reps. So now we have legs B, which is going to be a barbell squat of 4 sets of 12 reps. So at the last set, you're going to do 2 drop sets, decreasing the weight, 15 pounds each drop. So let's say you did 225 for 12, right? You finish your 4th set, drop it down to, what's the math on that? 210. Do another set of 12. Drop 15 again. That's 195, I believe. Do another set of 12, and then you're done. And then with 60-second rest. Following that, we have a reverse lunge, or you can do a Bulgarian split squat, whatever your preference is. 3 sets, 12 to 15 reps, and then rest. If you're doing a reverse lunge, 60 seconds. If you're doing a split squat, then you are just doing no rest, because it's not going to be needed. So following that, we have an RDL. We're doing that for 4 sets of 12. Pretty simple, getting our hamstrings, getting our glutes engaged. Following that, we do have a leg press, or you can do a hack squat, and we're doing it for 3 sets of 20, 60-second rest. And then of course we're utilizing the adductor and abductor machine, 3 sets of 15 this time. I believe legs A was 12, if I'm not mistaken. So 3 sets of 15 this time, 60 seconds each, calf raises, 3 sets of 20. And then finally, we're finishing it up with pull B. Now with pull B, this workout I did at home because I work on the weekends. So, when I come home, my gym's basically closed. Now you can just say, well, why don't you just go to a different gym? I don't feel like driving that far. The gym I go to is literally a 3-minute walk from my house. So it just doesn't make sense for me to go somewhere else and just waste gas like that. So this was done at home. So what I did, no warm up, of course, because I'm not deadlifting. So a straight arm pull down, and we're going to superset that with a neutral grip pull up. So I did 3 sets of 20 for the straight arm pull down, and then 3 sets of failure with the neutral grip pull up. And the pull ups, you should probably fail between the 8 to 12 rep range, and I rested for 60 seconds. Following that, barbell row with the supinated grip, 4 sets of 15. Then of course I did a single arm row. Gotta get that unilateral work in with 3 sets of 15. Again, rest won't be needed there. Seated row, either with a cable or a band, and this time we're going to be utilizing a pronated grip with 4 sets of 15 to 20 reps with 60-second rest. And then we have a band pull apart. You'll see that at the end. 3 sets of 20, getting your trap work, upper back work. Swimmers, which I love doing, and again, another inspiration from Athlete Next. 3 sets, 15 to 20 reps, 60-second rest. And then here, to finish off with the one bicep movement, you can do any bicep curl, whether it's chalice, barbell, incline, whatever your favorite kind of curl is. 3 sets, 12, 60-second rest. And then of course our corrective will be a face pull with the press. This way we can get some mid to low trap engagement with 3 sets, 12 to 15 reps. And that's basically it. And then of course I do have a sample calendar that you can see on the PDF in the description box below. And I talk about different calendars and stuff like that, and what works and what doesn't work. So in terms of recovery and cardio, I did 3 days a week. I would alternate, and I would also alternate them with yoga. So cardio Monday, yoga Tuesday, etc., etc.